For entrepreneurs, navigating your way to business success can be both exhilarating and exhausting. Whether you're changing locations, expanding, or leveling up production, wouldn't it be nice to have a business coach ride along with you on the journey? Well, buckle up. This is Business Ride Along. Mike and Larry have made it to the conclusion of their ride. The work they have accomplished has taken the team from strategy to execution through the rock and sand model. Mike Synk is here today to finalize the work by giving Larry his complete strategic plan that includes all the elements from along the ride. From meeting rhythms to the 3HAG, this strategic plan will help Larry see the vision, plan the vision, and execute the vision. Now we look back at the ebbs and flows of Business Ride Along and highlight the impacts it has made on the Kadzukian team and their progress.
Remember Monroe?
I do.
That first meeting?
Yeah.
So were you nervous?
Very much so. Very nervous, very concerned about the move that was ahead. I mean, we knew that there was going to be a lot of changes and there was going to be somewhat of an evolution of Kadzukian. And it was kind of daunting looking at it from the front.
Yeah.
With everything to happen ahead of us.
Well, I was nervous too. I wasn't sure how you were going to take the rock and sand model.
Oh, really?
I know you had read it.
Yeah.
But it's like when you put the pen to paper and draw it out, it's like it hits you really hard in the face.
It really does, but I think it's a good hit you in the face in the sense that it wakes you up. Maybe not hit with a sledgehammer, but maybe hit with a cotton swab or a pillow.
So you had this rock that you had to move, which was just the move itself. Right. But you had to keep the business moving, which meant you couldn't just keep doing what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And to me, you're saying that it's swatting with the big pillow. To me, it's kind of like it's a dope slap. Mm. Oh, I got a lot more to work on than what I thought. Yeah. And that was the point I was trying to get across initially, that there are rocks and there are sand. And you're good at the sand, but if you want to do more sand and you want to move and you want to do even more sand, which is your long-term goal, to be this big multimedia company, you got to find the rocks. You can't just keep doing more of the same. And you picked up on that right away.
Absolutely.
Communication was something that I noticed right off the bat that needed to be improved. And I normally go to meeting rhythm after we get the plan done. But I said, we can't wait. We got to sit here. And we established a meeting rhythm of a weekly meeting, daily huddles, and so on.
I'm trying to figure out how we did it without the meetings and the daily huddle. We were doing a weekly meeting, but I think it was less focused. But the daily huddle has really enhanced our connectivity.
And what I always find interesting, you can tell me if this didn't happen, is when you're having effective daily huddles, people start raising their hand to help each other.
Absolutely.
Okay, you're not in it alone.
Yep.
That is a big thing. It's people feel like they're in it alone, but when someone says, I'm stuck on this, everyone else knows, it's to our advantage to help her get unstuck, or I might be stuck someday and I'm going to need their help. Raise my hand, let's keep moving. Right. So you establish momentum. And I think ultimately meeting rhythm is what moves the rocks. Having good daily huddles and weekly meetings to talk about, one, the sand, but two, the projects you're working on to improve the company. Now, we did work through core values, core purpose, but I think the next meaningful thing, the really breakthrough thing, was when we analyzed, or I helped you talk through who your core customer was.
Man, that was
big aha.
Oh my goodness. That was like somebody walking into a dark room and someone cut on the light switch. Because sometimes as a CEO, you get frustrated when you're not hitting these certain measurements and hitting these certain clients. But what that allowed me to see immediately was with our core customer, very similar people, similar set of circumstances, and then we don't have to wonder if they're too long, if they're the right customer or not. Because one thing that became obvious is we figured out who our right customer was.
Yep.
But in addition to that, we also was able to uncover who the wrong customer was.
And send them somewhere else.
And it was good because...
And it sounds awful to say send a customer somewhere else.
No, it doesn't.
But if you
Not
can't,
anymore. Not anymore.
if you can't handle a customer, they're going to fail, you're going to fail. It doesn't work. But if you can get them to who can really help them,
right,
and you deal with the people who you deal with best,
right,
and that was a big, big thing. And that leads into your brand promise. Your brand promise was like, these people who are really busy, really stressed, didn't have the resources to be able to do it, just want you to do it. And it's like, hey, we'll just take care of it.
Right.
There's nothing you have to contribute to the production of this, of whatever it is we're doing for you.
We figured it out too. So we got another piece of saying, we have our content management spectrum, but we go through this piece with our customers now, and it really helps them to decide if they're right for us and if we're right for them. And it said, you got customers that like to DIY, do it yourself. You got customers that DWI, do with you, and DWI, do with you. But we are DFY, do for you. We want to do all those little pieces for you so you can concentrate on what you do best.
A new acronym.
Oh, yeah. DFY.
It was fun.
DFY, do for you.
And then the next thing we moved into was trying to set that 3-year goal.
Oh, yeah.
A 3-HAG, 3-year highly achievable goal.
Absolutely.
And what are the gaps we're going to have to fill to be able to get there? So that was a great experience watching you guys kind of put the numbers down as to how many of these events can we produce in the next year if we live core values, core purpose, brand promise, core customer in our strengths.
Right.
Wow. And you have this 3-year goal that's kind of out there.
Very much so.
But it's reasonable.
I believe
it's achievable.
Very
it's not
much
a big deal.
Yeah. And I think we got the right team to do it. Whereas when we first, embarked on this journey of moving this rock, of moving to AgriCenter, it was, we didn't have all the right seats filled. And I won't say we got every seat filled now.
But you know what they are.
But we know what they are, and we know what areas we need to cover. And even if we're asking other team members to do a little bit more, we know where that coverage and that overlap needs to be.
I guess the last thing out of getting the 3-HAG that really became a big deal is, I think, the gap.
Okay.
Here's where you are right now.
Okay.
Here's where you're going to be 3 years from now. There's a big difference there. And
Huge difference.
And the realization at that point is, yeah, we can do that, but to get there, something's going to have to change.
Right. Very much so. And one of the things that had to change was me realizing that I had 2 roles. There's Larry Robinson, the employee, and then there's Larry Robinson, the CEO. And in many cases, Larry Robinson, the employee, was not absolutely living up to what was needed from our sales and business development area.
We came up with 4 different bridges that you're going to work on.
Right.
Key
Very much
thrusts,
so.
or
Very
bridges,
much so.
or swim lanes.
So.
And you don't have the full answer.
Right.
But you know you're going to be working on these main things all the time.
Yes. And like I said, in looking at the different roles and the responsibilities, and then looking at where we were trying to go and the gap in particular, we do know that there's certain elements of our business that we got to focus on.
Hi, Michael Synk here. If our show, Business Ride Along, is opening your eyes to how you can grow your business, I invite you to enroll in the School of Rock and Sand. All the key concepts, exercises, worksheets that Larry and I work through, core values, core customers, brand promise, meeting rhythm, and more, are available in a convenient, self-paced class. And if you want me to ride along with you as you work your way through them, you can upgrade and get me for one-on-one coaching. I'm pleased to offer Business Ride Along fans a special offer. 10% off your enrollment in the School of Rock and Sand. To take advantage of this special offer, visit rockandsand.com/ridealong. Again, that's rock, the letter N, sand.com/ridealong. Hope to see you soon. Now, let's get back to the Business Ride Along.
So now it's time to show you the finished product.
Okay, what we got?
And I know you've seen this before, but
Right.
it's we want our viewers, the people who are following this show,
I don't know. We ain't gonna show them too much, are we?
No, I've covered up some things, but basically, there's a saying that I believe, and I don't know where I pulled this from. I don't want to say I came up with it originally, but it's like if you can't get your strategy down on one piece of paper, it's probably too complicated.
Okay.
So what we have is a strategic plan on one piece of paper.
Okay.
Now, I call it the Rock and Sand Strategic Plan. And you can see that on the screen right now. And I'm just going to walk people through it.
Okay.
So, there's the core purpose of the company, core values, core strengths. But here's the big thing. We talked about what the big, hairy, audacious goal was.
Okay.
And what the profit per X is to grow. But here's all of this is getting captured on one piece of paper, and then every quarter we come back and re-update it on every quarter. So this is a working tool. But here's a definition of the core customer where it talks about who the people are from a demographic point of view, but then what are the problems they're dealing with as they try to get their job done, which is really driving their decision to use you.
Right.
Not that you're the best production company, and I want to say,
But we are.
You are, but that ain't why they're buying you.
That's true.
Because you're solving this problem of they can't, you're doing for them what they can't do for themselves. And so that's captured here in the core customer. And down here is the brand promise, turnkey easy, DFY.
Right.
Now, this next part, we talk about a 3-HAG. So in 2025, here we got, this is how many events we're going to produce.
Okay.
3 years from now, in 2025.
Right.
And we worked toward that number, we built that number out from saying, this is what we're doing right now, and by the end of 2022, this is where we're going to be, how many more each year?
Right.
And from there, we could identify the difference between there and what's going to happen this year, 2022, the end of the year. We can say there's 4 key things that I'm going to have to work on. And we worked on that, sales team built, personal processes, internal communication, technology and equipment. And then we came up here in the next 90 days, and this is when the strategic plans get moved. They don't get moved in a year.
Right.
They get moved in 90 or 60-day segments.
Right.
This is what we got to move. And you had add sales associates. So by the end of September, that was one of your rocks, is to have a sales associate. So I'm going to tease you, how you doing on that?
We're coming along.
Okay. And then there was structure on getting the handbook together. And Misty has that.
We have the handbook.
We can check that off.
We check that off.
We know that's done.
We have our employee handbook. So
and the rest of the plan. What you use this for is you use this and share this whole thing with everyone in the company, so they can see progress is happening.
Right.
They know the company's headed somewhere.
Right.
People want to know where the company's headed.
Right.
They want to know there's a future. And now I feel like it's time we should have cap and gown or something, a graduation ceremony. Your team is graduating.
From what?
Well, the first step of moving the Rock and Sand model.
Oh, okay. We got much more work to do.
Well, we're
not graduating from you. We're gonna have you still around.
Okay, that's a deal.
All right, my man.
Kadzukian. Check out all your Kadzukian favorites now. Download the Kadzukian app, available on Android and iOS.